Numbers 35. In the plains of Moab, by the Yarden, across from Jericho, Adonai said to Moshe, "Order the people of Israel to give to the Levium cities to live in from the heritage they will possess, and you are also to give the Levium some of the open land surrounding the cities. They are to have the cities to live in, while their open land will be for their livestock, for growing crops, and for all their animals. The open land around the cities you give to the Leviim is to commence at a line drawn around the city wall 1,500 feet outside it, and is to extend outward from there. Measure 3,000 feet outward from the city wall to the east, south, west, and north, with the city in the center. The space between the 1,500-foot line and the 3,000-foot line will be their open land around the cities. The cities you give to the Leviim are to be the 6 cities of refuge to which you permit the person who kills someone to flee to, plus an additional 42 cities. Thus you will give the Leviim 48 cities with their surrounding open land. As to the cities you will give from those the people of Israel possess, from the many you will take many, and from the few you will take few. Each tribe will contribute from its cities to the Leviim, in accordance with the size of its inheritance." Adonai said to Moshe, "Tell the people of Israel, when you cross the Yarden into the land of Canaan, you are to designate for yourselves cities that will be cities of refuge for you, to which anyone who kills someone by mistake can flee. These cities are to be a refuge for you from the dead person's next of kin, who might otherwise avenge his kinsman's death by slaying the killer prior to his standing trial before the community. In regard to the cities you are to give, there are to be 6 cities of refuge for you. You are to give 3 cities east of the Yarden and 3 cities in the land of Canaan. They will be cities of refuge. These 6 cities will serve as refuge for the people of Israel, as well as for the foreigner and resident alien with them, so that anyone who kills someone by mistake may flee there. However, if he hits him with an iron implement and thus causes his death, he is a murderer. The murderer must be put to death. Or if he hits him with a stone in his hand big enough to kill someone and he dies, he is a murderer. The murderer must be put to death. Or if he hits him with a wood utensil in his hand capable of killing someone, and he dies, he is a murderer. The murderer must be put to death. The next of kin avenger is to put the murderer to death himself. Upon meeting him, he is to put him to death. Likewise, if he shoves him out of hatred, or intentionally throws something at him, causing his death, or out of hostility strikes him with his hand, so that he dies, then the one who struck him must be put to death. He is a murderer. And the next of kin avenger is to put the murderer to death upon meeting him. But suppose he shoves him suddenly, but without hostility, or he throws something at him unintentionally, or without seeing him, being his enemy or seeking to harm him, he throws a stone big enough to cause death, and the person dies. Then the community is to judge between the one who struck him and the next of kin avenger in accordance with these rules, and the community is to save the killer from the next of kin avenger. The community is to return him to the city of refuge, to which he fled, and he is to live there until the Kohen Haggadol, who was anointed with the holy oil, dies. But if the killer ever goes beyond the limits of the city of refuge he fled to, and the next of kin avenger finds him outside the limits of his city of refuge, and the avenger kills the killer, he will not be guilty of the man's blood, because he must stay in his city of refuge until the death of the Kohen Haggadol. But after the death of the Kohen Haggadol, the killer may return to the land he owns. These things shall constitute your standard for judgment through all your generations wherever you live. If anyone kills someone, the murderer is to be put to death upon the testimony of witnesses. But the testimony of only one witness will not suffice to cause a person to be put to death. Also, you are not to accept a ransom in lieu of the life of a murderer condemned to death. Rather, he must be put to death. Likewise, you are not to accept for someone who has fled to his city of refuge a ransom that would allow him to return to his land before the death of the Kohen. In this way you will not defile the land in which you are living. For blood defiles the land, and in this land no atonement can be made for the blood shed in it except the blood of him who shed it. No, you are not to defile the land in which you live and in which I live, for I, Adonai, live among the people of Israel.